Hello and welcome to Australian Transformers Weekly. We're bringing you Transformers news from around the world and across Australia. This is episode 235, recording live on Friday, May the 7th, 2021. This week we'll be talking about a whole shitload of leaks, some new Studio Series bots, some new Cyberverse bots. There's new stuff all over the board, and Takara has found a way to make old figures new again with some new ideas about repainting figures. All that and more is coming up after this. G'day and welcome to the show. I'm Jason. Joining me from... who am I going to go with first? You know, I'm going to go left to right across Australia. Bradley, you're also left to right on screen. Bradley coming to us from Perth. How are you doing, good sir?
I'm doing quite well, thank you, Jason. I hope you're doing quite well as well.
I am doing quite well. You look quite relaxed there, just slowly stroking the beard, giving carefully composed answers. I am doing well. Yes, very good. I'm quite jealous of your relaxed nature, my friend. Coming
it's
to
all
us from
false.
Yeah, as soon as the podcast finishes, you're like, oh my god! Coming to us from Adelaide, returning to the podcast because he's spent a good couple of months bopping around the bush, going and finding animals and taking photos of them and posting them on Twitter. Max Tibby, how are you doing, Max?
I'm alright, been too busy from our own good, but happy to be talking about some Transformers.
That is the main reason we're here. The secondary reason is just to have a bit of fun at each other's expense. But generally, yes, we'll talk about Transformers. That's definitely the main reason.
Or just have our once a week social interaction.
Yes.
Yeah.
So in actual fact, it has been a while since you've been on. Would you like to tell us what you've been up to?
Finish uni, I guess. That happened. Yeah, not much Transformers wise, I suppose. It's been about a month since I was on, I think, and then haven't. Not so much not having the drive to be involved in the hobby so much as not having the time, unfortunately.
Yeah. Also, we're used to getting excuses from you for your Friday nights, so it is nice to have you back. So, welcome back on the show, sir.
I like to think I have good excuses, but often.
Did I say
we're still verifying the doctor's certificates.
Yeah, sorry. I've actually been in touch with SA Health, and they're getting back to me. Bradley, I don't think we asked what you've been up to. We just talked about how relaxed you look. How are you doing?
I'm doing all right. I'm fighting off a bit of I don't know what it is, a bug or something. Other than that, just Twitch streaming.
A general malaise, I believe
Yes.
we can call it. Yes. General malaise, sir. Good to see you.
Commander malaise.
Commander malaise. Oh, that's actually slightly worse, I think. That's when you feel really sick. Yeah. So look, it's been a fairly quiet week for Transformers news. We've got a lot of leaked listings and text-based news to talk about this week. So we will try to spice it up with a few photographs here and just press the button on that.
Spice it up with some pictures and a bit of music here and there.
Whoa! I don't know.
Friday, let's go.
I don't know what just happened. Actually, no, I do know what just happened there. I hit return and I shouldn't have, so that's all right. Wow, that was. In case no one's familiar with our opening credits music, we can now play it live in the podcast. So that's cool. We're going to move swiftly on and get to the news. Straight into news.
Hasbro news.
That will take us into some news.
What news comes from by yonder?
I think we should probably talk about some news. Does anyone
Yes.
want to talk about some news? Some Transformers, perhaps?
What have you got?
Oh,
What have I got?
show me the goods, Jason.
I got... What have I got for you? Let me see. Hey, would you like a Studio Series 86 Slag? Is that good?
Are you offering one?
I'm offering you pictures of one. Like,
That's
we
good enough. It's beautiful.
Yeah, it is. He's a good looking bot. He's a very big bot. He is the same size as the Studio Series 86 leader Grimlock. I think he shares a few parts, but the article on TFW 2005 that we have up says that he's a completely new mold. I don't think he is, but whatever. We'll let them have it. So Kremzik, YouTuber Kremzik, has got his hands on Studio Series 86 Slag and is taking some pretty photos of it. So when this guy comes out, he will be in the leader class box with Studio Series 86 branding. So it means his recommended retail price will be a hefty $90. However, we did see Grimlock come down to, I think it was about $74 to $76 on sales and things like that. So if you're concerned about paying full price for him, probably don't worry about it too much. But there should be plenty of options to get him.
I'm just looking at my Grimlock box down here, and the price tag $89.99.
That is exactly RRP. Yes.
When my friend found it, he got us one each, and it had it was like Maya, so had the 20% off sort of thing. So
yeah, that'll bring it down to about $73, $74, I think. So actually 72 on 20% off. He's a nice looking bot. He's very red, very G1 accurate. People have said that a lot of these figures look like mini masterpieces, and it definitely seems to be true of the Dinobots especially. They definitely seem to have brought features and even designs. I've heard some people say that the heads are actually just scaled down masterpiece heads. They're definitely. I don't blame them
for that point of view. If you remember a couple of years back, it was the massive third-party trend was masterpiece Dinobots, right?
Mm-hmm.
So everyone was doing, and you could see this guy fitting in right amongst that trend. Like he is absolutely just. You can imagine this being just like another third-party company throwing their hat into the ring and saying, "Hey, here's our masterpiece Slag."
Yeah. He's not quite at the same scale, being just sort of a retail leader class figure, but he's definitely going to be big enough to go toe to toe with other figures in your collection. I do have a photo of that coming up after, but we've also got his Dino mode there, very very accurate to his at least his cartoon appearance, less so his actual toy appearance in G1, but looks fantastic. I don't know if this is actually intentional or not, but I love the fact that there's almost like a little black eye staring out of the blue eye on his robot mode. Like I think it just adds to it. Very interesting look at 21st century toy manufacturing, in that the horns have a hollow piece on them. I think that'll be something that will be attacked by the third-party upgrade kits. We'll see how it goes. But in general, yeah, very very happy with how Slag looks in his robot mode. What do you guys think?
I was just wondering. So, is it confirmed that his name is actually Slag, or have they changed it to Slug?
It does say Slag on all of the listings. It actually says Slag and Danny, which it might just be because it's like had a character limit and it's cut off Daniel, because I've never heard them refer to Daniel as Danny with DANI.
No.
Unless they've lost some copyright.
Unless he's had surgery.
Yeah. So he comes with the Daniel figure, which I don't think I've got any photos of it in here because it's not worth going over.
Excuse me.
Yeah, he can definitely do the excuse me pose and crush the Quintesson Prosecutor, which is the one that we've all recently gotten from the Pit of Judgment set. So it goes really well with that. I'm not sure which ramp bot that is, but yeah, that's fine. It doesn't really matter. And then finally, there's a bit of a comparison shot with the Slag next to Grimlock and Studio Series 86 Cup and Hot Rod, just for a bit of an idea of relative size and scale. Definitely both big bots.
Definitely on the must-buy list.
Yeah, I'm secretly impressed by that.
Yeah, I'm definitely there for this guy. I have gone on the record before saying I'm not that into Dinobots, but like I don't care. This looks great. The Studio Series 86 Grimlock is fantastic. He's just really fun to play with. And so I expect the other Dinobots that should be coming in the same series will be similarly fun.
Yeah, look, when the rumors were first circulating about the fact that there'd be a Studio Series 86, I guess a lot of people, myself included, envisioned that being sort of just a generic addition to Generations. And yes, this is essentially just more Generations, but to have something like a full, highly detailed leader class version of Slag, which isn't even that outlandish, right? It's just Slag. It's a well-known character and all that, but it's not something that it just felt just slightly beyond the pale a few years back, and now here it is. It looks. I think it's the fact that it's so dead on too. It's not like, and I appreciate that Generations nowadays is taking some risks. It's doing its own thing. It's playing around a bit, not being 100% dead on to G1. But then that makes you appreciate things like this more, where you just go, yep, that's Generation 1 Dinobot, and that's all it needs to be.
Yeah, I agree. It's a nice simple approach to the figures, and I guess that sort of comes with the them being the movie representations of these figures as well. I do wonder. It's actually been a while since the first wave of Studio Series 86 came out. They haven't actually announced. They haven't announced subsequent waves. They've leaked all over the place. We'll probably get to some of those leaks later on. It does make me wonder when the next wave is going to come out. There have actually been subsequent waves of Studio Series. So we've seen Dino and we've seen B127. They've just hit shelves around Australia, and so it's not, Studio Series is not all Studio Series 86 from here on out. Like there's a sort of a bit of a back and forth. Some 86 and some other movies. So I think at some point Hasbro will give us like a Fan First Friday or a Transformers Tuesday event, and they will bring us through what the next wave is going to be, because it won't just be Daniel. We've also heard that there's going to be a sweep. We've heard that there's going to be a Wrecker. We've actually heard a lot of different rumors for figures that are coming out into this line, and there's a lot of conjecture around the rumors, because there's actually quite a long cast lineup that's been rumored for the 86 line.
Yeah, it's sort of weird. You mentioned there's been a long list. I think Slag's the only one we've actually seen, isn't it?
Slag is the only one that we've seen, unless there's been pictures unless there's been figures hanging around in the background of other pictures that have leaked out that we haven't really clocked. However, I think given the way the Transformers community currently goes after the detail in the background of any picture that came out, that's how we spotted T-Rex from a group of, I think, 5 pixels in the corner of something a few weeks ago. So I feel like it would have been noted.
But I seem to remember this latest Slag specifically being rumoured for... I think it's been over a couple of years now, actually, that we've heard rumours of a Studio Series latest Slag. And it never really eventuated. And we all sort of just assumed it'd be a Michael Bay movie Slag, because...
Yeah, I think you're right, actually. Like, I do remember people saying, there'll be more Dinobots, because, like, the Studio Series leader Grimlock from the movies is like number 9 in the Studio Series. It was one of the, or number 7 or something. It was one of the very first figures to be released. So it's been a while since they've revisited any of the Dinobots, and yeah, we would have assumed that it would be a Bayverse Dino. So, but nope, here he is.
Do we know of any? Has Hasbro announced any sort of Fan First Fridays or Transformers Tuesdays coming up?
No, but they had the Pulse Fan Fest in early April, and it's like, if you were going to make Transformers announcements, you kind of would have made it there. There's been other events since then, so like there's been some shows going on with the Marvel Cinematic Universe on Disney Plus. So they've had some Marvel events. They've had some Star Wars events because obviously May the 4th was this week as well. So it feels like they've had a bit of fun with their other franchises, and now it's time to turn their attention back to Transformers. Please, thank you very much.
Yeah, because like I was just thinking, maybe they'll just do an unannounced release. But then, as we said before, Slag is the only non-released Studio Series 86 that we've actually seen. Everything else is just a rumor, I think.
Yeah,
or has there been any confirmed names?
Oh no, there's plenty of. Well, there's been no confirmed names for anything else, but it's all rumors. Yeah. Jacob Babick says, "So will all the dinosaurs be leaders?" This is sort of what I was getting at when I was saying earlier. Like, it's going to be a while if they're going to actually release every Dinobot as a leader class figure, because we're fast approaching mid-year and we haven't seen any more. So, is this something that's going to happen over 2021 and 2022, or are we going to see maybe another leader, and then maybe there'll be Voyagers or something like that? The rumors that I've heard say that they'll all be leaders except for Swoop, who will be
I could see Swoop being a Voyager easily.
I've heard the original 3 Grimlock, Slag, and Sludge will be leaders. Snarl and Swoop will be Voyagers.
So yeah, it could be any combination of the above, or we could all be wrong. The others might not even exist. Who knows?
There'll be a lot of uproar with that if they.
As with everything else, it's all rumor and conjecture. I think we should probably move on.
Yep.
Now begins leaky leak time. So TFW's posted a post from JT Prime 17 revealing numbers and catalogue names that were discovered in Target's system for Kingdom and some other upcoming Target exclusive figures. So we are looking at Transformers Kingdom Deluxe Road Rage. Will be apparently getting a release that could be a Target exclusive of some kind. It could be some. In fact, I wouldn't be surprised if it is an exclusive.
But Jason, Target doesn't exist anymore.
Target US exists and is going strong. So it does actually make me wonder though. Maybe they've learned their lesson from making highly sought after characters exclusives. We've seen Runabout and Thrust in Earthrise going to Target exclusively and thus becoming really hard to get. So if Road Rage, being a Trax repaint, is an exclusive to Target, I feel like it will be sought after, but it might not necessarily be something that will cause fans to get terribly angry.
I don't think it's as sort of necessary a toy character as what Thrust and to a lesser extent Runamuck were.
I agree. Yeah. So there's a couple of other figures coming out there. We've got the a new buzzworthy Bumblebee Generations Deluxe Origins Bumblebee, which we have absolutely no idea what that actually means. But my gut thinks that maybe it's another one of the it's another one of those figures that might have been the slightly smaller Bumblebees that's been packaged up and sort of sold at the deluxe price point. We had the little Bumblebee that's come with the Spike exosuit. So I wonder if being an Origins set, if that might be just a different car mode for him or something like that.
It's just weird that if someone's...
It could be like a earlier movie Bumblebee or Cybertron form, I suppose.
Yeah.
Not to go for the boring answer at all, but
it's just weird that if someone's if a parent is looking for that in a shop for their kid and they goes up to an assistant and says, "Excuse me, do you have buzzworthy Bumblebee?" No, I'm sorry, we don't.
Did I stutter? Yes. In all honesty, I don't think that happens anymore.
No.
We often will bag out decisions made by Hasbro and by other companies saying, well, imagine if some parent who doesn't know the product goes into it's I don't think that happens anymore. Kids will just
I think they just shop online from home and say, is that what you want?
I think so. Kids are shopping online with their parents' credit cards. It doesn't matter. There's other stuff here. There's an Optimus Prime and Megatron line unknown, but they are from, I'm not sure if these are from Canada. I think these are actually from the USA. So, and the fact that they probably are USA. So $50 is actually a fairly expensive price point for Optimus Prime and Megatron. So
it's either a Voyager or a Deluxe with a lot of accessories.
The Deluxe comes with one accessory. There you go.
The Voyager price point in the States is in the mid-30s. So that's quite expensive.
Oh.
That's more leader class pricing. So that's interesting. There's an Optimus Prime and a Megatron, line unknown. So we don't really know where these are coming from. They could be figures in a new range that hasn't been announced yet.
Could it be related to that? There's the Transformers Red series. I'm just thinking there's a Transformers action figure AST for $39.99. It could be like a premium version.
Getting a little ahead for that one, but yeah, we don't really know. So AST again, it's a fairly vague listing, and it's a $40 price point. So that's 2 Deluxes for America, maybe one and a bit, 1.5, 1 3/4. The other thing that's interesting is AST often means assorted. So maybe that's just a placeholder for something.
maybe they went like, there's WST for World's Smallest Transformers. Maybe this is like
Actual
America's smallest. Yeah, actual smallest Transformers. Yeah.
Don't know about that. There's also a note at the bottom of this article saying that T-Rex has a June 1st street date in Target's system. So we are fast approaching that. That is 1 month away from here. So
that would have been announced by now.
Well, I think we might start seeing a few announcements in the next week or two from Hasbro. We'll see what happens. It's only been a month since the last event, so it's time for them to give us some new reveals.
Yeah, we need some hits, man.
Yeah, we do. We really do. So the thing that really stands out for me in this line is actually Kingdom Deluxe Road Rage. Is that so? Max, we haven't really spoken too much about Kingdom with you. Are you collecting any of the Kingdom figures?
I've been meaning to, but just the timing thing. Really haven't had time to get into the store to look for them.
No, fair enough. So,
when I've been busy, I promise you, I have been that busy.
That's all right. So we know Trax is coming in Wave 3 of Kingdom. So is Trax a character that you go for, or and Road Rage being a repaint of Trax, is that something that's appealing?
Not massively, considering I just have the Masterpiece. I've had the Masterpiece version already, but it does interest me in that. Like, correct me if I'm wrong, but this is the first time we've seen Road Rage or any sort of red repaint of Trax in a retail line, right? Like we haven't seen that homage done outside of Masterpiece.
So they did a red Trax in the Shattered Glass. But it wasn't Road Rage. It was just red Trax.
It was just Trax in like a Road Rage homage.
Because as of the new IDW run, like Road Rage isn't just some Diaclone homage. Like that's a fully fledged character now. So, I can see a reason to get excited behind this.
That's probably why she's getting her own figure.
Yeah.
It would be nice to have a Road Rage figure, because the closest I've got is Shattered Glass Trax, which isn't Road Rage.
Yeah, I have that up on my shelf here as well.
Yeah.
I'm not letting you get away with Shattered Glass figures that I can't have. All right, that's one set of listing leaks that we've talked about tonight. I'm gonna go into the next one, which is possibly something we'll spend a little less time on. So we've got some season 4 Cyberverse listings coming out from Walmart's computer, and these are interesting more for the characters that they're doing rather than the fact that they're Cyberverse. Like I'm not really that into them because they're Cyberverse figures, but there is straight up at the top there's a Dinobot. So they're doing Snarl in Cyberverse. I don't believe they've actually had other Dinobots in Cyberverse yet, but and I don't think anyone on the podcast can correct me if I'm wrong.
I was going to say, what was that line you collected last year? Wasn't that Cyberverse with the Builder figure?
It was.
Yeah, that was Cyberverse, but
wasn't that Grimlock? Isn't Grimlock in that? Oh. Yeah.
So Grimlock is often a starter in most series now. Like he's a character that is there from the beginning. But yeah, other Dinobots, I don't think they've done them that much in Cyberverse. I don't think they've done them before. Although having said that, if we look up at the top of the post, there is in fact a photo what was obviously a
Oh.
Cyberverse Dinobot. So maybe they have, and I just forgot.
I've finished Cyberverse, but I don't recall Snarl playing much of a role.
Yeah, I don't recall that either. So yeah, we'll see how it goes. What are the other things here? Oh, there we go. Oh, the Cyberverse Warrior Dead End. Dead End is also another noteworthy character for them to do as well. And of course, there's Bumblebee, Megatron, Wheeljack, and Optimus Prime. The more interesting thing is that there's a new sort of roll and transform and roll and combine gimmicks coming into the Cyberverse line as well. So.
Is that like what they did a couple of years ago? The roll and combine, like they sort of crash into each other?
They're the Crash Combiners. Actually, really interesting. Someone actually tweeted a video at me the other day of someone doing the Crash Combine, and it was I haven't paid too much attention to them. I'm just like, oh, they crash together and they combine. That's fine. And it was like the unicorn. Like the final combined mode was it all springs out, and suddenly there's 4 legs, there's a horse head, and there's wings and stuff. It looked really cool.
Oh, nice. Yeah. You going to get it?
No. I do not require that figure.
One horse transformer is enough.
I don't know if I have a horse transformer. I've got the My Little Pony.
Yeah, that's the one I meant.
Yeah, fair enough. That is enough.
Have there been horse transformers? I assume Japanese Beast Wars.
No.
That is always a good assumption when wondering if there's been a particular animal mode. I don't know.
Japanese Beast Wars. I'll give it a quick Google.
Fair enough.
No.
Fair enough. While
I think the closest is a giraffe.
We don't talk about the giraffe.
Yeah. The giraffe was pretty cool. While you do that, we are going to move on to the next story.
Oh yeah, of course, Mark Kick.
Mark Kick?
I'm actually really surprised I forgot about Mark Kick.
What, M-A-C-H Kick?
Yeah.
Ah.
Oh, fair enough.
Like
Jason
Mark
looks like he's going to
Kick.
Google it.
No, I'm not.
Ah.
Max clearly already has.
Yeah, but we could show the audience. We could get them involved.
I know my days of Googling things live on the podcast are done.
Nuts.
Yeah, no. Do you think I'm going to fall for that one?
Again?
Hey, fool me once, shame on me. Fool me twice, shame on me. Fool me 3 times. Like by the time you get to like fooling me 87 times, I'm wise to you. Okay.
Yeah, fair enough.
And also, as Jason Reed says, we all have Google.
I don't.
Yeah, but you have Siri. That's quite a problem. But yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
Do you have an iPhone?
I don't know.
Oh, good.
I got this.
He doesn't know.
No, I
That's
think
not-
you've got an Android phone. Anyway,
Yeah, I think it's an Android.
Let's move on. We got a couple more stories to get through, and this is
Hello.
one that I think you might be quite interested in, Bradley.
Yep,
we are looking at
definitely.
We're
looking at Kingdom Scorponok, who is a deluxe class figure, new mold, and he's coming out in wave 3.
Very
What's,
excited for this guy. Sorry, you were saying?
No, I was hoping you would tell us how excited you are for him, and you did. Thank you. The answer was very. That's very good.
Very excited. I think because, like when we were talking about this a couple of weeks ago, there hasn't really been a transforming Beast Wars Scorponok since the original toy in like the 90s. Everything else, I think, has been like those little robot heroes or whatever they were called. And so this is just looking really, really neat, and I'm really excited to have him, especially since the original toy is so back heavy.
Well, and so we've looked at the articulation options on this as well, and like he can actually sting with that tail, which is also quite the engineering accomplishment. And we've got him got a photo of him just sort of seated here along with some of the other Decepticon beasts. So we've got the Beast Megatron and Black Arachnia.
You mean Predacons?
Yes, I did. I don't know. We haven't seen Kingdom yet. We don't know. But I think I think they are labelled Predacons on the box. I think you're right.
I think they're just called Beast. I don't know.
Wow. Well, there we go.
Wow, he's actually pretty big, or those are very small hands.
Could be a bit of both. But
Yeah.
I feel like he folds up quite well, right? And like there's a bit of engineering in that tail because in his robot mode, it's what does happen to the tail in the robot mode? If I keep going far enough, I'll find it. There he is.
Yeah, but where's his back?
Oh, just give it a sec. There you go. So the tail actually just sticks up at the back.
Yeah, that's what happens in the original toy.
Yeah.
I don't mind that. Like, it's part of the course of any figure that has that sort of.
Well, I mean, like, but he's a scorpion as well, right? Like the tail standing upright at the back gives him a chance to strike at his opponents with it. So, like, why wouldn't it? It's fine. I just didn't know where it went.
No, you do.
So yeah. Definitely interested in picking up this guy, I guess.
Yes, very much so. Yeah, like I said, the original toy was just black, very, very top heavy because the scorpion tail has a sting motion, which has like gears and metal and stuff. So when you stand him up in robot mode and his knees are weak, he just falls backwards. So this guy looks pretty damn accurate, and yeah, very excited to get this guy. I just really like that face sculpt because that is Scorponok.
It's actually quite a lot of paint on the face too. It's like we can see. It looks like it might have been molded in purple, not too sure, but you can see there's yellow paint on it, there's white or silver paint on it, and there's black as well, and there's also sort of gold highlights around the eyes too. So yes, a lot of detail going into that face sculpt.
Can't wait.
All right, now we will make you wait by moving on to the next story, I think. Which is a brief discussion of the looming and forthcoming Transformers Project Jam. This is something that I think I'm amused and it's quite puzzling that this actually confused people for a while. So Transformers Project Jam was found in Walmart's listings. A new listing this week. It's $70 and originally this report said that it's not really clear what it is, but we've seen plenty of these project figures come out before. I spoke about how the Gigawatt box was labelled Project Future because it was Back to the Future, and so there's there's been a bunch of conjecture about what exactly Project Jam would be, but I think Australia's own Griffin from Ozformers actually set everyone straight on what's going on. Project Jam carries Project Jam is a collaborative, or it's very likely to be a collaborative Transformer that's been unannounced yet, because all the collaboratives have been Project something at the moment. Apparently Project Mullet was Ectotron. Don't know about that one. I don't recall seeing Project Mullet. I've definitely seen Project Future, definitely seen Project Bird, and I've definitely seen Project Cruise in relation to Gigawatt, Ultimate Expanse, and Maverick, which were other well-known collaboratives. So given that, there's now conjecture that Project Jam is indeed a Space Jam collaboration, which as Jacob says, Space Jam is LeBron as a Transformers fan. Don't know if LeBron is a Transformers fan, but it is possible that this might be a Space Jam reference. It could be something else that might be jam worthy as well. However, I mean, I'm not really feeling that it would necessarily be a Space Jam collaboration. Given that Space Jam is Warner Brothers likes DC Comics, and Transformers tends to like the Marvel side of things.
Project Mullet was Ectotron, so I'm thinking Project Jam is going to be something far removed that we can't even get to with an hour of brainstorming.
Well,
yeah,
I think
Space Jam is sort of derived. Sorry.
I think I can save you the effort. Jason Reddit has cracked the code. It's Jam the Radar from Spaceballs.
Oh yeah, because
so
she
maybe Project Jam is Mega Made. You've heard it here first, everyone.
That'll be pretty sweet. I wonder, it'll probably be Maybe that's going to be a repaint of the Ark. So we get a massive long ship.
Massive vacuum cleaner.
Yeah, and then it transforms into a vacuum. It's made with a vacuum cleaner.
Yeah. I mean,
and a removable head.
Yeah, I could totally see them putting in the money to change the Ark into Mega Maid. Yes.
You don't sound very convinced there, Jason.
Funnily enough, I do not. I don't know.
It's hard to predict this because it's been real.
Go on.
Sorry. Out of it. There's been no real rhyme or reason to previous collaborations, right? It's not like there's been sort of anything to do with current events. Like there's nothing really going on with X-Men or Back to the Future right now. It's just like they just sort of went, bugger it, let's throw something out there, and the naming conventions don't really relate to all that much. So
you're partly right, but I also think there's definitely connections to things that have been happening. Possibly the least connected might be Ultimate Expanse, but Ectotron was to tie in with the new Ghostbusters movie, which has been delayed, and that's why Ectotron's been re-released.
I forgot about that bloody thing.
Yeah, Gigawatt was for Back to the Future's 35th anniversary, I think. Ultimate Expanse is a little bit less clear whether there's an anniversary or something it's tying into. It's just cool. And Maverick was there for Top Gun Maverick. Top Gear Maverick is a very different show. I will also point out, while we're talking about possible collaboratives and project codenames, there is another one floating around as well that's been doing the rounds for a few weeks called Project Park.
Oh, no doubts about what that is.
Go on.
South Park.
Yeah, you'll have to say it again, Bradley. I think you dropped out.
Me? I thought it was Matt.
Yes.
Oh no, I was saying I said South Park.
Oh right, I thought you said Jurassic Park, which would have been.
No, that was Max.
Right.
No, I was saying it's going to be Jurassic Park, and he's
fair enough. There was a bit of crosstalk, and I couldn't tell who was what. Project Park could be a Jurassic Park collaboration. But so Brad and I spent a little bit of time rolling around some ideas for this during the week, right? And the obvious one for a Jurassic Park crossover would be a repaint of the Kingdom Beast Megatron, right? It's a T-Rex. That's kind of an easy place to go for a Jurassic Park collaboration. But I don't know. I feel like the point of Transformers collaborations is that the Transformers become an iconic vehicle from the franchise in question, and I don't know whether becoming a T-Rex actually necessarily fulfills the criteria for what we've seen with the collaborators so far, which makes me wonder if it might be more of a vehicle transformer for Project Park, which could be some kind of a hound, sort of becoming one of the iconic Jurassic Park Jeeps, which is probably a more iconic figure than just sort of a dinosaur. I don't know.
Because the
dinosaur would sort of be like, oh, we've already done a couple of T-Rexes or Velociraptors, recently, so it doesn't have that same draw as you can't just make another Transformer.
When you think of the T-Rex from Jurassic Park, I just think of just one color, whereas the Jeeps from Jurassic Park, there's like green, yellow, red, so there's potential for plenty of interesting colors to go with a Jeep one. But do you guys remember?
The other option, do a 2-pack, T-Rex and a Jeep. Done.
Yeah, maybe.
That would actually.
Did you guys see the April Fool's pic from I think it was Hasbro when they were announcing all these fake collab pictures?
I don't think any of those were from Hasbro.
Well, you know the ones I mean. Maybe one of those was like a test image. So maybe Project Jam is one of those being realized.
Lots of them pulling an MMC.
I really hope not, thinking back to those images.
The only one I remember is a Mystery Machine.
Yeah.
Oh no, there was Knight Rider, which could be a Back to the Future Gigawatt repaint, but anyway.
Yeah, no, it's true. And to just bring us home on that, as Jacob points out, if they did My Little Pony, nothing is out of the question. Also, let's just point out, My Little Pony was actually a promotional tie-in for the comic. The comic is back for a second run. The first run of Transformers My Little Pony was Friendship in Disguise, and the second run is The Magic of Cybertron. So we'll see. There might be another My Little Pony collab coming out. We'll see. Yeah. So let's move on from Project Jam and Project Park. Actually, no, sorry. Before we do move on from Project Jam, what the hell would you expect a Project Jam, if it is indeed a Space Jam collaboration? What would you expect it to be?
I've never seen Space Jam.
It's only been around for 20 years.
So?
Unicron. It turns into basketball now.
Oh, yeah. No, actually, that's really good. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's only like $1,000.
Wasn't one of the characters in Armada something to do with jam? Hot shot or something?
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
No idea.
That's like a
one
meme. It's like a very
I know.
old. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
very
like,
old Armada
it's like
meme.
the why my shoulders hurt thing.
Yeah. Jam.
I forget how jam factors into that.
I think it's the sound his shoulders make. Jam.
Jam.
Yeah, like the sound effect is written.
I'm going to Google it now.
Yeah.
Transformers.
Project Jam. They're coming back with Armada.
Can you imagine? Oh my god. Yeah, it's about have Hotshot going, yum, jam, I lick jam, jam. Yum, jam. It's just it's the most like what is funny in 2005. There you go.
Yum jam.
Oh dear. I left to sort out a slight volume issue elsewhere in my apartment, and I came back to that.
Yeah.
You don't like jam, Jason?
I like the radar when it's jammed.
There is only one man who would dare give me the raspberry. Lone Star.
All right, let's move on. Let's move on from Project Jam and Project Park. I don't think we necessarily came to a conclusion about what it could be. I don't think there's actually necessarily any iconic vehicles from Space Jam unless there's something in the new one. And I'll be honest, I can't really bring myself to go back and watch that preview again to find out. So let's move on. Last news story for the evening. Takara surprised everyone today by announcing a brand new product line. Haha, applause everyone. We are looking at the first images of the Transformers Generations Premium Finish line, which is, as the name would suggest, the same figures that we already have with a premium finish, which, as I jokingly said this morning, is proof that Hasbro and Takara has been paying attention to what the third party manufacturers do. Put more paint on it, put better paint on it, and then re-release the figure and charge more for it. So
I was just wondering if this could be the Optimus Prime we saw earlier in those Target. It said no line.
Oh, interesting. It's an interesting possibility. It is definitely a possibility. It would also explain the slightly higher price point being $50 each. However, we've only seen two so far. One was Optimus Prime in his Siege incarnation. The other is a repaint of a Studio Series Bumblebee. So, and in fact, if you look at the pictures there, Bumblebee is PFSS01, and then Optimus Prime is PFGR01. So they're sort of acknowledging the line that the figures came from as well. So they will be plucking figures from different lines and giving them premium finished paint jobs. The paint job looks much better on the Siege Prime mold here. Like, he actually looks like he's been lifted out of the Netflix series now, which is, I can see as something that's definitely desirable. people would be definitely interested in that. 3A or 3.0 or whatever the hell their name is this week, they do have a premium Siege Optimus Prime that he looks like a blown up version of the retail release figure, but with a premium paint finish. So maybe this is Takara sort of just going, we don't really need to go that far with them, but we can just put some slightly better paint jobs on it. Are you guys fans of the idea of re-releasing the figures we've already got with better paint jobs?
I don't know. How's that for an answer, Jason?
Thank you. That was very good. Very good.
There's a precedent for it, right? This sort of thing's been done before. So
it has. So I do want to bring up repaints as a more general discussion topic, and this is just sort of our way into it. Repaints have always been a part of Transformers since day one. I mean, they're a very common part of toy manufacturing. It's not just Transformers as well, and so Hasbro and Takara have. Takara has long been famous for having the better paint jobs on the same figures, which has stopped during the War for Cybertron trilogy. But all the way through Combiner Wars, Titan's Return, and Power of the Primes, there was a lot of people saying, I'm going to go for the Takara Legends version of this figure because it's got a more cartoon accurate color scheme, for example. And that dropped off with War for Cybertron, and Hasbro and Takara announced that they're just sort of releasing the same figures worldwide.
At the same time as that, Jason, we pretty much knew straight away that we were getting an American and a Japanese release, whereas this is being released 2 years after Siege?
Yes, yeah. It is 2 years later, and the Studio Series Bumblebee is. The Studio Series Bumblebee is definitely a much later release than his original release as well. In fact, I said it's Studio Series 01, but it's clearly not because he's actually a Volkswagen. He's a Volkswagen alt mode rather than a Camaro. So I'm not quite sure where the numbering scheme comes from this. Maybe it's just the premium finish on a Studio Series 01. So yeah, in fact, looking at the box, it does actually say Studio Series Bumblebee up the top, and the Optimus Prime says Generations Optimus Prime. So the whole line really is Transformers Premium Finish, and then you'll have the Generations Optimus Prime and the Studio Series Bumblebee and other things coming in under it.
So they're just going to be plucking from whatever lines, and then I
think so. Yeah, I think.
I
think they're probably going to look at the molds that they think are good and popular and really warrant a premium treatment. So they're not going to do Wheelie, but they might do Optimus, they might do Megatron. You never know. If they do a Soundwave in this, people will lose their shit.
That's true.
I'm interested to see what constitutes a premium finish, because their approach to Bumblebee and their approach to the Optimus are two very different things.
Yeah, so they're very small thumbnails that we're looking at here. But there are certain things that you can see, especially from sort of the photo on the box, is that there's a much better sort of all over paint job on this. It looks almost like the paint job that you would expect to get on a Masterpiece figure. And they've given Prime these sort of green shattered windows from the Netflix series, but they've also added sort of extra detail and they've even amped up the battle damage on the figure, which was a controversial addition onto the Siege figures, and you would think that if they were going to do a premium finish, maybe they would not have the battle damage on it, but no.
I actually didn't realize that until he pointed it out. That he's got the battle damage on his legs. I was looking at the truck and thinking that looks pretty unscuffed.
It does. The more interesting thing about that is that if you look at the photo on the box, there's no obvious battle damage on his legs, but it's definitely there in the other photos.
Maybe could be early prototype, but at the same time they're advertising this, aren't they? This is an ad.
Actually, that's interesting because this photo actually came out via In-Demand Toys in the UK. So whether this was actually an ad that's meant to make it out to the public, or if it was meant to be something to garner interest from retailers, is kind of an open question. So
okay.
Bumblebee also has some sort of scuff marks in his paint job. I would say I'm less clear as to where the premium finish comes in on Bumblebee. But then I'm less familiar with the original Studio Series figure on this as well. So
Yeah, I'm in the same boat.
It looks to me like the difference between that sort of gunmetal black plastic versus that very generic Hasbro grey.
Is it a different
You
yellow?
know what I'm talking about, like that grey.
Yeah, is the yellow on this toy a bit faded compared to the other Bumblebee?
I think it is, but I think it's also intended to be.
Yeah. It's just it sort of makes you wonder though where the premium part comes from.
Well, that's what I was getting at. Like, is the premium finish? Just is it going to be on the?
It comes to the part where you pay more money.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah, we finished the figure, now pay a premium for it.
We will premiumly finish off your wallet. I'm going to choose to leave the thumbnail on Prime because I think it's possibly a better example of what can be done with some more paint applications. But so since we're talking about repaints, I want to get you guys' feelings on repaints. So are you for them? Are you against them? Or are you ambivalent about them because they're just something that happens?
I don't know. Is the term necessary evil sort of applicable to repaints?
It could be.
Because, it's just I like repaints, but at the same time, it's because I know that they're an already existing figure, like Prime into Ultra Magnus, Soundwave into Sound Blaster. There's also if like there was a promotional toy, which was just say a repaint of Optimus Prime into something different, I might be interested.
Say, maybe a gold finish.
Yeah. Or what's that? What was that? Was it Bape?
Mm-hmm,
They did I like the look of those.
Bapes are well known to be premium repaints of premium as in premium price point repaints of MP10, or actually just generally Optimus Prime.
Yeah, I like the looks of some
Those
of
got
those.
a bit out of control. Like as far as repaints go,
yeah.
much.
MP10 has gone out of control. Like they've got all those different Nike Atmos repaints that have popped up in the last few years. Like that is definitely off the deep end, milking the tail end of the mold.
They should have made the Evo 01 repaint and then never touch the mold again. You peaked there, you went too far.
So Tick Tick Boom Design says I probably wouldn't have gotten into repaints if the finish was a bit more premium. Which is an interesting thing, right? Like if you paid more for Starscream, would you be as interested in Skywarp and Thundercracker? Or does the fact that Starscream costs $30 mean that Skywarp and Thundercracker for another $30 are also that much more attractive?
Again, for me, it's because they're known characters.
So the Seekers have always been repainted. Like they're the greatest culprit of repaints at all. My feeling towards repaints is generally one of ambivalence. I dislike a lazy repaint, and I think that's what we all got a little bit sick of in Combiner Wars. There was a very low number of base molds, and they kept repainting them. And I think when I say a lazy repaint, these days Hasbro seems more likely to give us a remold or a retool than a straight up repaint. So I think it's fair to say that Hasbro heard people's complaints about Combiner Wars and has gone, all right, we won't just straight up repaint things. Like we will actually do some additional tooling to change things where necessary. You still do get some things that are a straight up repaint, like Sunstreaker and Cordon, the yellow version of something and the red version of something. But at least when we're looking at things like Run Amok and Runabout, you'll get a different weapon with one of them. Some of the colors are slightly different on the application. So I feel like Runabout's paint job is much better than Run Amok, for example. Reuse of the mold is just par for the course.
Yeah.
The fundamental thing is with Transformers, it's not it's not this new thing. It's not like we can say, oh, hey, nowadays Hasbro's trying to cut costs, or they're trying to skimp us out, or take advantage of the consumer. It's
we have those complaints for other things, but yes,
yeah. But it's been a thing since the inception of a franchise. It's been a thing since before the inception of a franchise because it was there in Diaclone. But it's and as much as it's annoying in some instances. Across other Hasbro lines, like you want to look at Marvel Legends, I hardly touch those anymore because of the amount of repaints, right? But in Transformers, because it's almost the inverse, where in other lines, it's this real thing that people are averse to because it's a show of laziness and these are two different characters. They shouldn't be on the same figure. But in Transformers, it's an integral part of the franchise history.
Can we talk a little bit about Marvel Legends in that scale? Because in that frame, because I just straight up do not collect Marvel Legends, so I'm not that familiar with it. But my understanding of Marvel Legends is that they don't do straight up repaints, but they will reuse parts from one mold on another. So like an arm from one character might appear as the arm on another character, but it won't be straight up a reuse of that character.
It varies. There was they've gotten better in recent years, but a few years back it was like there were 2 or 3 molds that would it would be that exact figure with a different head for every single instance.
But do you think the fact that they've gotten better with that in recent years, do you think that might also be showing through in Transformers? Because, like we said, they've gotten better in recent years.
I would tend to agree. But that's also just a matter of, I think, Transformers in general have probably gotten better in recent years.
Fair enough. What are your what's your favourite repaint? Is there a best repaint out there? Bradley, have you
have to be official
repaint? Probably, yeah.
Oh, that's tricky then.
Off the top of my head, if I had to think of an official favorite repaint, it'll probably be Optimus Prime into Shattered Glass.
The Masterpiece figure, or just any of the Shattered Glass Primes?
Give me 2
just
seconds.
Any of the Shattered Glass Primes. I just really like
they do put a lot of effort into them.
Yeah, and once again, different characters, but at the same time, yeah, it's just literally the same mold.
Yeah, I mean, look, Optimus repaints. We seem to get a few Optimus repaints now. We'll get a black Optimus and the Nemesis. We'll get a Shattered Glass Optimus. Sometimes there'll be a white one into Ultra Magnus. Sometimes, and then maybe there'll be a premium finish one that's coming up as well. And we also get the Dead Prime these days. We've also we've seen a lot of reuse of the Siege and Earthrise Prime molds over the last couple of years, but they've also, I think, when they start with a really good mold, people tend not to really mind the repaints as long as they don't seem too egregious, right?
Well, I think the thing with MP10 too is that that design is one that just really lends itself to repaints. Same deal with the Seekers, right? It's something that, depending on the way you place the colours on this mold, on this design, it can take on a very different identity.
Yeah, sort of like if they...
I wanted to bring up the BotCon and the Timelines figures as well, which, Bradley, you went for Shattered Glass for your repaints. And I think the BotCon and subscription service and Collector Club figures, they are actually a really good example of being really clever about paint applications on existing molds, completely changing the look of the figure.
Yes, I was going to say they usually have a slight remold, but no, there are a vast majority of those toys are just straight up repaints.
They do often get new head sculpts.
Yeah, because I was thinking, I've got the Rampage, which is Prime Megatron with a Beast Wars Rampage head. But other than that, it's just literally it's straight up same toy, same mold, same accessories.
But I do find myself quite. I do find myself quite desiring the BotCon and the subscription service and Collector Club figures. Do you guys find them desirable, and if so, why?
Yes,
Sorry.
because they're just cool. I mean, it's hard to really describe why, right? But it's something like a BotCon or a Collectors Club figure. It sounds very consumery of me, but there is an exclusivity factor, right? It's that factor of this is this rare special item, and I want to own that. I want to own that. But not just because it's a rare special item, but because it's a rare special item of something that I specifically like. If I had to think of an example, like, was it the BotCon Iron Fist, right? I spent a lot of time trying to track that thing down. And when I got it, I was bloody happy with myself because it was something that I specifically liked. And it was, like, as stupid and irrational as it sounds, it was made more valuable by the fact that it was a rare and exclusive thing. I personally like this figure, this character, and not many other people have the ability to own this.
Yeah, a lot of the times it's that like a BotCon toy is of a really particularly cool character, and at the time, as far as you know, it's going to be the only version, like official version of that toy in existence. So that could be another a reason as to why you would hunt something down like that. But yeah, that's also another reason for me liking BotCon. I think I've got most of the BotCon toy sets, and my holy grail, which I know I'll never be able to obtain, is actually a whole year's worth of BotCon stuff. It's the pre-Earth Beast Wars toys. I just like, yeah. How about you, Jason?
So I do like having BotCon figures on my shelves and timelines and the like. So for me, the reason I like putting these figures on my shelves is because I like to have my shelves look slightly different to everyone else. And
yes,
like if everyone's going to go out and buy Earthrise Starscream, right? Like I will put Generation Select Sandstorm there instead of Starscream. I mean, that's actually a really bad example because of course I'll put Seekers up there. But so like I've got Generation Select's Black Rorichi sitting on my desk in front of me instead of Fast Track because for me he's the more desirable figure because he's more exclusive. He's the Gen Selects version. I really appreciate the fact that Hasbro's making the more collector-oriented versions of these figures, more acquirable for collectors. Like you can get these fairly easily now. You don't have to go out and hang out on eBay and snipe auctions at the last minute and pay through the nose for shipping. Like you can just get modern interpretations of these figures from Hasbro. I really like that. It is yet another sort of dip into the repaint thing, but isn't the entire Generation Selects line a repaint line?
Yes, and at the same time with Generation Selects, you're getting like 1 or 2 toys every couple of months, as opposed to BotCon, where you're getting one box set with a couple of exclusives every year, which sort of drives the price up a bit. Whereas with Generation Selects, it's sort of like BotCon done friendlier to the wallet, if you know what I mean, because we're getting cool exclusive repaints.
Well, it certainly is, because Hasbro definitely seems to be going after the old BotCon and Timelines figures and redoing them in the Generation Selects line in a newer mold with this, the same paint job. So, really homaging the old figures, but giving people a more accessible, newer version of that interpretation of the character, which I'm all for. I really like that. A lot has been said about Shattered Glass Megatron in the last couple of weeks and how he's, being a repaint of Siege Megatron, he's not especially svelte and sleek when it comes to his jet mode, but the color scheme is cool, and so people are going to look past it. And the color scheme is cool, the character is cool, and the idea is cool. So
the original figure was Energon Megatron, like. Don't have there's not a high bar set there. Bloody hell.
Oh, but Bradley loves that one.
No, you love that one. I just happen to have it.
I do love that one. Again, I think I come back to my original point, which was that I don't have a problem with repaints, but I have a problem with lazy repaints, and I don't think Generation Selects falls into that line. I think they're good.
I was going to say, if they took the Earthrise Prime mold and repainted that yellow and red into Ronald McDonald, that would be the ultimate lazy repaint, wouldn't it?
Could that be the upcoming Project Ronald?
Oh, no.
Or maybe it'll just be Project Ron. We'll see.
Project Ron, a Pronect.
Yeah. So yeah, look. So let's bring the discussion on premium finish and repaints to a bit of a close. Are you guys interested in the premium finish line? It's not a commitment that you're going to buy it, but are you interested in to sort of find out more about the line and potentially going out and buying it?
I am interested to see what they come up with in the future. This Optimus, well, the two that we're looking at so far, I have this Optimus Prime mold as the spoiler box Nemesis Prime. The Bumblebee doesn't particularly interest me. But yeah, I'm interested to see the potential of this line.
I'm actually reminded of a discussion that we had a couple of years ago when the Siege figures came out. And I'm fairly certain at the time that we said maybe Takara will release an updated version of it that doesn't have the battle damage on it and might have better paint applications.
Yeah, but at the same time, this is very, very, very far removed from that.
It's not that far removed from it, I think.
Well,
I'm disappointed that there still appears to be some battle damage on it, but otherwise, this would I would totally go for this. The Bumblebee, I'm less interested in, but I don't actually have a red Siege Prime like you. I've got the, oh wait, I do. Oh dear. I've got the anime color. I've got the anime color 35th anniversary Siege Prime. He may not be long for my collection if this is going to be a thing. I don't know.
Jason's a band of principles. He's going to burn it.
Oh dear. Oh gosh.
I was going to also say, now looking at this photo, so we got the toy which has green windows, green cab sort of thing, but I don't know. To me, the box art looks blue. Like the grill looks blue and the windows look blue.
So there's something interesting going on with the grill, right? I think there's an attachment on the grill at the front of his vehicle mode, because you can see very clearly sort of where my mouse is. There's a green part on the front of his grill, but in his robot mode, there's no green part. It looks very different. So I think the grill probably has a part that detaches or something. The windows, I think it might just be a darker colours, because I think in the photograph on the box it's lit from above, whereas I think the other ones are probably CG renders or something.
Maybe the front part that you mentioned, maybe could that be his axe, or is his axe a Micro Master?
I don't think the axe attaches to the front. Like that looks too neat. I think he carries that more in the rear. Yeah. So look, I'm interested in the Prime. I'm not interested in the Bumblebee. I'm interested to see where this line goes, but I also kind of feel like maybe this might be a line that Takara starts and then forgets, like so many of their other things.
I have a feeling that if they do continue with this line, that as a collector's community, every time there's a new announcement, there'll be a massive amount of eye rolling, saying, "Oh, for God's sake, they should have just done this when they released the toy originally."
Possibly, yeah. The other thing I will point out, you're also quite right about the grill color, because when you said the grill on the box, I looked at the robot mode, but no, you're right. It definitely looks blue on the box.
Yeah. So I mean, once again, this could be an older toy, sort of being a placeholder for a final product. Like this could be a prototype still.
It could be, yeah. It could be. We'll see. Now, we are at the end of the news. We're running slightly over time. Do you have any acquisitions to go through? I don't have anything new, but I will have next week.
I've got this guy arrived today. Thank you, Jason. Generation Select Stick cover. I'm very excited to have him. I sort of bought him and Tiger Track as a sort of spur of the moment, like a few weeks ago, and I'm very excited to have both of them. Going to be opening up over the weekend. So thank you again, Jason. And this is one of the many perks of being part of the Transformers Collectors Club in Australia.
Yes, I send you stuff. I mean, you paid for it, but like I send you stuff. So.
The Jason, it's called the Jason Gateway for a reason.
It is.
He will personally arrive at your house and just throw Transformers at you.
Yeah, at some point I'm going to have to go over to Perth, and I'm going to have to go and visit Bradley and throw some Transformers at him. So yeah,
I might throw my Botcon Megatron at you.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Does that mean I have to throw you money for it?
Yep.
Or if you throw it hard enough, I'll just grab it and run off.
Okay.
Max, it's been a while, and we know you've been busy. Do you have anything new that you would like to talk about?
No. Listen, I have things on order.
Tell us about your orders.
I think some of them I might have been scammed out of some things, so I've got to sort that out.
Anything you're particularly looking forward to?
There was that New Age Action Master Thundercracker. Should be in it. I can't remember when that's due, but that'll be good fun once it arrives.
I think that was only recently announced, so I don't think it's going to be a very.
I do have something in the actual mail though, so presumably next time I'm on the show, I'll have something to talk about.
All right.
Like fingers crossed.
Well, so hopefully by next week, I will hopefully have a Netflix deep cover to take a look at as well. And we can compare and contrast deep covers on next week's show, Bradley.
I was going to say, really, you bought that piece of junk?
It's been a while between new figures coming out. Like I kind of got desperate. We'll see. Every time I see it, I'm less impressed with its color scheme than I was before. But we'll see how it goes. Okay.
It's just a blue side swipe. I mean, at least this deep cover here has like police logos and such on it. Anyway, it's your toy. I'll shut up. I don't want to take away your enjoyment.
We'll see how it goes. I'm not sure if that's going to be my only acquisition.
What else you got coming?
I think I might have Warpath coming as well.
Ooh.
Okay.
It's a slow time of year.
The Kingdom Warpath?
Yes. Yes, Kingdom Warpath, and yes, it is a slow time of year. I don't know whether I'm going to open Warpath or if he's just going to go straight on the sale pile.
Well, I've got Warpath, and he's a pretty good update to the Generations H tank we got in 2014, I think it was. Pretty screen accurate, pretty intricate transformation compared to other Warpaths, but then again, like G1 Warpaths will just literally pull apart and stand up.
That's true. The bar is not high when it comes to Warpath. Let me have a look. What else might be coming in? Nope. Oh, there might be a Sparkless Seeker for me as well.
Do they actually have a name, or is it actually officially known as Sparkless Seeker?
Why?
It is literally called the Sparkless Seeker.
What is desirable about that figure? I'm sorry.
Have you seen the number of Seekers on my shelves?
No, because they're cut off.
Yes, I had assumed the excessive number of Seekers meant you had good taste in Seekers.
So I have to add Seekers. Like there's a formula, right? Like the number of Seekers that you add over a particular amount of time is the acceleration of your collection growth, and I'm falling behind. The number of Seekers has not been going up for a little while.
I was going to say that's a pretty horrible formula. That's just pretty much saying addition equals higher numbers.
That is how maths works.
Yeah,
look. I didn't say it was a good formula or a formula that I'd actually put much effort into working out. It is something that I came up with on the off the cuff. So yeah. But anyway, it's a new Seeker. I'm going to grab it. I'm going to check it out. If I dislike the look of it, onto the sale pile it will go.
Did you get the double target master Seeker? Netflix. I can't remember his name.
Oh, Hotlink, yes.
Yeah.
I do have Hotlink.
I saw him in the shop and I almost bought him just because I can't remember their names, but I like the names of his target masters.
Oh, and the names of his target masters, I also can't remember, but they're battle masters, I think.
Yeah, like wasn't Heartburn or something.
Heat Stroke and Heartburn.
Yeah, I really like those names. And
I know it's like a crappy '80s cop show or something.
Heat Stroke and Heartburn, they're guns.
Yeah. We're taking down crime across the town. All right, we are well into the weeds, so it's about time that we finish the show. Is there anything that we have forgotten to talk about that can't wait until next week?
Did you want to briefly mention that stupid Alabama?
Nope.
Okay.
But now that you have, there was a story that came up during the week. People got very confused about a project, a code name Alabama for something, and also sold by Griffin from Ozformers. Alabama is the code name for the Hasbro Pulse, or for the Hasbro bringing the Takara Sound Blaster repaint to the Western markets, and I believe it might be turning up to Toys R Us in Canada. So it looks like Project Alabama is pretty straightforward as the Takara Sound Blaster.
Yeah, that's all from me.
That's why I didn't mention it. All right, I think that's about it, and I am about to expire and cough my guts out. So we better bring the show to a close. Thank you for listening, everyone. Thank you for watching along with the live record. We have seen a few people interacting with us on Facebook and on YouTube as we've been going through the live recording. So thank you very much for your thoughts and opinions and feel opinions. To check out more about these stories, you'll find links in the show notes when the episode is published. You can get in touch with us. You can find all of us and the Transformers Collectors Club Australia group on Facebook, or you can find us or you can contact us via the Australian Transformers Weekly Facebook page. If you're not already subscribed, please do subscribe to the podcast in your podcatcher of choice. And if you can't find it in your podcatcher of choice, you will find it. You'll find the RSS feed on the website, which is transformersweekly.podbean.com. We are a production of Transformers Collectors Club Australia, a registered club in Victoria, run by volunteers donating their time, effort, energy, and money to make things better for everyone around the country. We want to connect Transformers fans around the country, and we do it by engaging the community. We do Wednesday night video chats. We turn up to Oz Comic Con. We turn up to Supernova. We will be at Supernova Melbourne in a couple of weeks' time. Looking forward to that. And we do that to reach out, connect with people who might not be a part of the group yet, and see if we can get some new people on board. You can find out more about the information about the club and the benefits of TCCA membership, which include me sending you Transformers, and how to show your support for what we do at TransformersCCA.com. You can follow me on Twitter at JM77. You can follow Bradley at Groovy Guy Gaming on Twitch. And TCCA itself is at Transformers CCA on Twitter and Transformers Collectors Club Australia on Facebook. Thank you, everyone. And that is all from us. And we will be back with more Transformers news soon and in the fullness of time.
Catch you later.